Today we wanted to talk about people that have built their pools, wish they might have done different.
I wish I would have done that extra 2 feet. I wish I had a little bit more space. Am I really committed to swimming laps, or am I really committed to volleyball? Or do I really want to design the entire experience around this one thing that might limit other options down the road?
Think, oh, it's Texas, it's hot, I'll be able to swim a lot, I don't need the heater. And I've heard a lot of people come back and say, I wish I would have. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Denali's Deep Dive Podcast. Here with Mitch again. I'm Travis Caraway. Today we wanted to talk about a few of the things that that customers, clients, people that have built their pools wish they might have done different, right? I won't say regrets, right?
Yeah.
But maybe we did something different. We'll qualify today too that we didn't twin on purpose, but here we are both in the same shirt today for the podcast, so that's fun. Just start it off. What do you think? What's something or a few things you can think of that you've heard from clients, over the years? Man, we wish we would have.
Man, it's a good question, and something that I feel like everyone tries to address on the front end and can lead to some overthinking on the front end, because I don't want to have any regrets. But the reality is, if you've ever built anything, it's man, living in it for 2 years now, hindsight, I would do this or would do that.
Yeah.
Luckily, for a lot of people, it's minor, but for some people, it is big. And I think those stand out I don't know that it's the biggest, but those stand out the most is I wish I would have done that extra 2 feet. I wish I would have made my pool a foot longer or 2 feet longer. I was teetering and I decided to save the money. And now that we've swam in it for a year, adding another foot or two is outrageously expensive at this point. And in hindsight, man, it would have been so easy. And so whether it's length or width or depth, I've got from time to time.
It's a
my
big
kids
one too.
love jumping in the pool, and there's only so much space to jump in because we wanted enough shallow end. I think when you're teetering, it's not for everyone, right? Not everyone needs a humongous pool. In fact, I do have one customer that comes to mind, and it might have been my fault for accidentally pushing him because my family wishes our pool was bigger. But it's you'll use it. And I have one customer who comes to mind who's I wish I wasn't maintaining a pond worth of pool, or a lake worth of pool in my backyard. It's a huge pool. But other than that, I do have customers that are man, a year later or 3 years later, because for some of our customers, we do stay in contact. We get close. So it's a big process building a pool. And so we'll touch base from time to time or run into them at the grocery store. And they're now that the kids are 5 years older, I wish I had a little bit more space. So it's not for everyone, right? But if you're teetering on something I really do like to cook out, but I don't know if I'll use it a ton, probably go ahead and put in that kitchen. You'll probably use it, because it's always more expensive 5 years later, whether it's because you're tearing into the pool and then it gets outrageous, or just prices go up 5 years later. It's not very often that people are man, I really regret that.
The space thing, right? How much space you make it to customers, right? Because I remember when we were building our pool, I was Mitch, is this too big? You're nah, it's not too big. I'll never forget though, you use every square inch, right, is what you said. Yep. And at several years later down the road, building our second pool, what did we do? We made it bigger, right? So I agree. We use every square inch that, our last pool, we used every square inch, and we actually made some additions and changed some things around. And this time we went a foot deeper too. Mm-hmm. Depth, you touched on that quickly. I think that's a big one too. So when we built our pool the first time, my wife was she was really worried about the deep, right? Mm-hmm. I'm well, babe, if they can touch in 6, they're a big, tall guy, big, tall gal, right? Yeah. Most people can't touch in that, but that little bit of extra depth for the kids jumping in, throwing in toys and swimming down to the bottom to get them. To me, that was a big thing. So much so, our first one was 7. We came back and built the second one. And we added another foot, right? And again, my wife's Trav, that's too much. But for me, right, if I had built a 6 foot deep pool where basically I jump in and it's, kind of maybe a little bit over my head. Not much, but a little bit.
You're right there.
It's a little bit over my head, but I feel like I'm jumping in and hitting the bottom pretty immediately, where my kids jumping in, feeling like they can jump and go all the way down to the bottom. I feel like that's something people have thought, man, maybe they go with 5 foot. And at the end of the day, whether you dig and build a 5 foot deep pool or dig and build a 6 foot deep pool, there's absolutely no cost impact there, right? But they go with the 5 and say later, man, I wish maybe we would have gone something where not everybody, there's not a deep end, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that's one too.
Man, that makes me think. I get people that are like, I want to play volleyball, and so I just want 5 foot deep in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, so my wife, for example, is 5'3", and this sounds very obvious, but it's amazing how often it gets missed. She doesn't breathe out of the top of her head,
right.
And so even in 5 feet of water, she's not standing, or if she is, she's doing one of these numbers on her tippy toes. And so when you talk about like, well, I want Amber, my 5'3" wife, to be able to stand at the net and play volleyball, 5's probably too deep there.
Yeah.
And so you got to think not just like how tall am I, but like where's my head? Where am I comfortably standing? If I'm playing volleyball, you're not bumping anything at those kind of depths. You're only setting over your head. And so really thinking through those applications, I think is pretty important, really matters. And I think that leads me to think of another regret is I've had some customers that want to design the whole pool around something like, I want to play volleyball.
Right.
The question that I'll ask is, that's great. Where does your family currently play volleyball?
Yeah, how much volleyball do you play right now?
Oh, we don't ever play volleyball.
Right.
Well, if you're not playing on land, there's not a huge chance you're going to play in the water. Or like I have one customer of mine who I love to death. We've done 2 pools for him now. He wanted a lap lane. I'm gonna start swimming. We built this beautiful pool, but really extended out this lap lane so he could get his laps in. And when they called me, they're like, hey, we sold that house. The pool actually helped the house to move on a slow market, which is a whole nother episode. Probably we won't dive into that, but we're in our new place. We just closed. Let's get going on the pool.
Let's get wet, right?
Yep. So I came over and bless their hearts, they're a great couple, and she starts ribbing him. As soon as I get there, she's like, go ahead, tell him how many laps he swung. And he's like, it doesn't matter how many laps I swam. What matters is that we don't need a lap lane anymore. Right. And so don't get me wrong, people make changes in their life all the time. It's not to say it's impossible, but just maybe really think about, like, am I really committed to whatever it is, fill in the blank. Am I really committed to swimming laps, or am I really committed to volleyball? Or do I really want to design the entire experience around this one thing that might limit other options down the road? And then you get to decide that, right? Everyone gets to decide that within themselves. I've heard that sometimes you just need to go with your gut. Your gut's right 90% of the time. Yeah. So I don't mean to paralyze anyone with overthinking, but really think through that, because I think sometimes it's exciting and you're fired up and like, I'm going to change my life. Yeah. Maybe not. Just think through that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Building your pool around one specific thing, right? That's not us. I think it was a big thing for you guys, like you being the basketball guy, right? That you are. Love it, love it, love it. A really nice, like, concreted in, breakaway pool basketball rim in your pool, right? Yeah. And I can sit here and think about you, and some friends are like, Trav, put that in your pool. I'm like, I don't play basketball. I don't want that in my pool. I won't have any regrets, right? Mitch might regret that I don't have a basketball goal in my pool. But designing around something super specific, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Something that I think of is heat, no heat, spa, no spa.
Tough call.
We live in Texas. I can tell you that several people that I've, several clients that are like, I just don't think, we live in Texas, right? It's so hot here. I just don't think we'll use it. Decide not to put a heater in the pool, decide not to do a spa, and then come back. It's like, man, we're looking at that pool 6 months a year, and we have no heater, we have no spa, we don't have another, like a jacuzzi spa, like, we wish we'd have done something different, right? And building a gunite spa on a pool, right? It's a significant,
huge investment.
It's a big difference between and it's not just the body of water, it's the heater and the gas runs and all those
Plumbing.
things. But for me, I don't sit in the spa a ton. My wife and my daughter, like that's all they want to do, right? Yep. Amanda, my wife, she doesn't swim in the pool.
Yeah.
Like barely. She'll sit on the tanning ledge. She might sit on a bench. She's in the spa as much as she can be in the spa. I think if you forego that because you think, oh, it's Texas, it's hot, I'll be able to swim a lot, I don't need the heater. Man, I've heard a lot of people come back and say, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, today's a good example. What is it? 70 degrees outside right now. I'm a pretty well insulated man. But even this, like,
nope. Not me.
Pretty brisk.
No, not a chance.
Probably sitting in the spa today, whereas my kids who are far less insulated somehow don't feel the water temperature and they'll jump in it when it's
12 months a year.
Yeah, it's crazy, but they do. I've had folks from Wisconsin move down here who are like, I don't need a heater. I'm fine. And they are. But then there's other people who are like,
yeah.
Man, it'd be really nice. Like we got that birthday party, or like, if I remember right, Amanda's birthday is in the wintertime.
That's it, December.
Never had a pool party in her life.
Right.
But as an adult, could finally have that pool party because you had the spa. And anytime you build a spa with us, you also get that heat advantage in the pool because of the way we plumb it. And so it's, for you guys, that was
heat up the pool. Mid-December, right? It's 50 degrees outside and the water temp's 55, but have a pool party in the middle of the winter.
Pretty cool.
Fun stuff.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, we're in the middle now. We built our pool before. We had that one. We moved a few years ago and now finally building the pool here at this house. I can remember wanting more heat actually in the first one. I'm like, we had the gas heater. We heated up in the middle of the winter because we had that gas heater, but my thought went to spring and fall. It's like, man, maybe I would put a heat pump chiller in the next one, right? Building this one, decided, nah, the spa's good, so I'm not adding that piece of equipment, but I had the chance to live in that pool, right? And I didn't. A lot of people are building for the first time, and they don't have a chance to live in it before they build it. I think
first and only.
That's right.
Most people build one pool in their life.
And so I think that's super important. Like we have the opportunity to help people understand those. I think that's why we wanted to come here and do this, to kind of shed some light on if I haven't thought about this yet. Or maybe if I've thought one way, it's worth considering. One, considering this thing I never thought about, or two, considering the alternative, right? I think that's important and helps people make decisions, informed decisions.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that takes me to my last one. I'm going to go with my personal regret on our pool.
Yeah.
We bought our place and there was already a pool there, which was a blessing. It was fantastic because we were able to get in and remodel everything. And so if you can touch it, it's been remodeled.
Yeah.
Tile, plaster, coping, decking, you name it. We added a cabana.
Even the depth profile, right?
We changed the depth profile. We came in and added, because it went from 3.5 straight to 8. And so 5'3" Amber
was like this 10 feet off the wall.
One step. And she's like, well, that's the limit of what I can walk on. So we changed that depth profile. But we did not add an in-floor system, because to add an in-floor system, we basically would have had to demo out the entire floor of the pool. And I just was like, man, it's probably going to cost me 3 times to add an in-floor what a new build in-floor would cost. And I just don't know that's worth it. I can run my robot. For me, that was our first pool.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. I'm on my 3rd robot now, my 3rd floor robot. Yeah. I have a separate skimmer robot that I'm on number 2. I have a corded and a non-corded version, because I've got giant oak trees on either side of my pool.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what time of year it is. I'm getting, if the wind's blowing this way, I'm getting it from that tree. If it's blowing this way, I'm getting it from that tree. And they're just blowing stuff in my pool all the time. And so I'm out there. It's a daily task for me to fight those leaves if I want my pool to look like this, right? I miss days. I go on vacation and the robot doesn't get emptied every day. It's not, I don't mean to say that it's like super hard to take care of a pool, but if you want it super pristine, which I like, it is like a daily task that I wouldn't have if I had an in-floor system.
Yep.
And I think people just don't think about that stuff.
Yep.
Some people are really good at maintenance, and they enjoy getting into their pool. I have a brother-in-law who's out of state, and he loves maintaining his pool. Like the chemical, it's exciting for him, which I love. It's not exciting for me. I'm like, dadgummit, I got to go dump those leaves out. And so having a built-in cleaning system, in hindsight, I'd probably pay double what it costs for a new pool in-floor system. If I could go back, I would probably do that, just because it's that constant, like, oh yeah, I got to deal with this. And just having it all built in, just like having your chlorine automatically added. Having that built in is just such a huge mental load off. The in-floor system really offers that. It's not for everyone, but it's, in hindsight, I'm like, man, I probably would have done that differently. And so, again, it's not for everyone, but everyone gets to choose what do you want to do. And you know yourself, right? If you love mowing the yard, probably gonna love dealing with your chemicals. If it's like, I have to mow the yard, then it might be I have to do this. So you might think about another option.
You know me, man. Besides the people that make those things, I'm probably the world's biggest proponent of in-floor systems.
Because you did an in-floor in your first pool.
I would never build another pool without one, right?
So you did it in your second one also.
And did it in the second one. And I'm the hybrid of the guy that you talked about. Like, I enjoy playing with the pool and the chemicals. I test my water way too many times for a normal person during the week, right? But to me, that's therapeutic and fun. Emptying out the skimmers, I can handle it. Emptying out the leaf basket and the pump baskets. But vacuuming a pool or wrestling a pool robot and the cord and putting a cordless one on the charger and all those things, I looked at it from the beginning and was like, for me, I don't want to do that. And and I saw such a good return on that investment for myself. Like, just to walk out every morning and look at like a pristine, clean pool. And then in the evening, I walk out there and the heads are doing their thing, right? For me, it was way worth it. So much so that, like I said, I wouldn't consider not building one in any future builds. So yeah, we just got done plumbing ours in and all that stuff. And I'm excited looking at those heads sticking out.
Well, and it's not just cleaning, right? Is my understanding.
Chemical distribution, heating, all those things, right? It's a big deal. This one's a hybrid. This one has it in the steps and in the benches, but not in the pool. Different strokes for different folks, but for me, man, I would be super disappointed if I had built one and
not had it.
Yeah.
It's funny how that is, right? You can't get things perfect, or you'll never build a pool if you think through. There's always new technology coming out. At some point, you got to just go ahead and enjoy a pool.
Yeah.
But ideally, for folks, we do our best to educate them on, here's your options, here's what you can think through. But there's like infinity things you can do with a pool. And so if we can do a good job educating, this is what you might like based on what you're doing currently in your life, or this is something you might not like based on some of the things you've told us. We try and give the information and let folks decide. We're happy to build whatever you want. But if we can help think through some of that to minimize those regrets down the road, then that's a win for our customers, obviously, and a win for us as well. So
yeah. Ask your designer about size and depth, pools, heaters, like what are the options, in-floor cleaning. One thing we didn't touch on really, but we could, or maybe not because we're running out of time, but technology is a big thing too. People are like, I don't think, I'll just go throw that valve by hand. Really?
Yeah. It's amazing how first world some of these problems are. Yeah. But we live in a first world country, and having a pool is a first world problem. And it is. Sometimes it's like, man, how much could I have paid just this little bit to save this? Like,
it's
worth asking
really
those
important
questions.
About those lights that can be any color on the spectrum, or just kind of the set? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a huge thing too, technology and the things that we can do with these pools to be hands off, and like really the only hands on for controls is you on your app, right? Now, for me, it's chemicals and it's emptying baskets, but I'm not vacuuming. I'm not messing with a robot. All my stuff's available on my phone. The pool's cleaning itself. The distribution is good through the in-floor system. Or you've got the exact opposite of that, where you've got a pump that controls
everything,
one light, you know what I mean? Or you might have manual valves to turn on or off water features. Like, it goes from any end of the spectrum, from manual to automated, but it goes as far either way as you want to go.
Yep.
So I think that's important that people, how automated or not
Right.
automated do I want to be?
Right. That's why it's so important, I think, that you have that relationship with your designer, that you understand each other, that they know, like, man, I really love technology. I want super teched out, or like, man, I really just want to be super economical for whatever reason. Maybe this isn't my forever home or whatever it is. It's really important that you guys understand each other so that design can really best fit your needs. That's really our goal.
Ask the questions, ask the questions, ask the questions.
Communication, baby.
All right.
We're all about that at Denali.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, brother.
All right, guys. As always, we appreciate y'all joining us. You hear it all the time, but if you found some value here and you like what you're hearing, don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys.